Oh, it's on. Are we starting? Are we rolling? Okay. Uh, I mean, you know why you're here. Uh, if you don't know why you're here, then what the heck are you doing here? Like, what? Go away. Okay, we're not ready for you yet. We're just gonna, yeah, go away. Sorry about that. He gets a little rowdy.
Passion!
Right. Anyway, we're here to talk about black people's influence on music, and why diversity and intersectionality in music is important for not only the music industry, but also America's society in general. Get to it already! Alright. I'm Silvio, and let's get into it. I wanted to say that. Like so many industries in America, the music industry has a long history of oppression and racism and exclusion. Intersectional issues that live on the borders of systemic discrimination, race, and expression. This discussion is meant to explore the claim that diversity in the music industry benefits not only said industry, but also America as a whole, and our culture. We'll be doing this by exploring the history of black people's influence on music, and how they pioneered the staples of popular music in America as we know it today. But what is intersectionality? As one of the main terms we will be using throughout the video, intersectionality is important to understand. Wait. I want to say this. Go ahead. Intersectionality, or intersectional theory, is a term first coined in 1989 by American civil rights advocate and leading scholar of critical race theory Kimberly Williams Crenshaw. It is the study of overlapping or intersecting social identities and related systems of oppression, domination, or discrimination. Think of it as two intersecting roads, where each road represents a system of oppression. People who deal with intersectional issues are the people who sit in the crossroads of the issues and who are affected by both. Black women, for example, are black, but are also women, and face the combined societal discrimination of both groups. Intersectional issues are not confined to only two issues, however. Imagine an intersection of many injustices. A poor, Mexican, single mother, for example. And imagine how it must feel for that person to face the combined injustices of being poor, Mexican, a woman, and a single mom. People facing intersectional issues are, in my opinion, the strongest of people. They are constantly made aware of these identity markers, and how in this American society, it disadvantages them. In the video, we will be using mostly research that can easily be found, including Is Pop Music Black Music? A video essay by Black Music Archives, Elvis Presley and the Black Community That Echo Will Never Die by Foxhole Music 79, Rap and Hip Hop, Crash Course Black American History number 47 by Crash Course, all on YouTube. We are also using the book Rock and Roll by Robert Palmer. All of it except the book can be found in the description of the video. Who the hell are you, and where the heck did you even come from? I've always been here the whole time. You just never saw me. Okay. Anyway, the first thing we'll be looking at is the pop genre, and asking ourselves a pretty open-ended question. What is it? Yeah, what the heck even is pop? Like an icicle? Pop is a genre that is ever-flowing and constantly changing and evolving with the times. The abbreviation pop comes from the word popular, and the music of the genre is defined by what is most popular at the time. It is almost not a genre, but a spot held by a style of music. The most popular genres and styles at the time define the type of music that is considered popular, or pop. Right. As the video Is Pop Music Black Music? A video essay by Black Archives on YouTube points out, in the most popular genres of music in America at the time, which includes pop, rock, and hip-hop, among others, there are black artists associated with the genres and who have pioneered them. Michael Jackson, for example, is often called the king of pop. Hip-hop is closely associated with black people, and rock's inventors and pioneers are black artists. Tina Turner, Chuck Berry, to name a few, and although Elvis is considered the king of rock, his music was inspired and often ripped right from black artists like Little Richard.
the founding father of rock, from the Black Music Archives.
All of which will be explored later on. The intersection of systemic oppression and racism that work together to try and forget and push down these founders and pioneers of the pop genres to make way for white artists only hurt American society and its culture. Quote, about 4 or 5 black radio stations in the whole country, and the white stations wouldn't play me, end quote. From Black Music Archives, 5/12. This quote from an interview with a black artist tells of the racism and oppression of black artists and how the labels didn't want the faces of the music genres to be black, even though it was them who pioneered the music. Quote, not so above board, perhaps, was the practice of record companies assigning co-composer credit with all the attendant royalties to disc jockeys and others who might help break a record. Freed, for example, was credited by Crest Records as a co-composer of Chuck Berry's breakthrough hit, Maybelline, along with Berry himself and one Res Freto. End quote. From Rock and Roll, pages 137 to 138. This quote shows the harsh and very discriminating gatekeeping practices in the music industry. Chuck Berry, a prominent black artist, had to have white people surrounding his music in order for it to be accepted by the music community.
That's so unfair!
It is. It is. It is certainly unfair, but one thing that is really interesting is that although black people are credited for the creation of these genres, and many more, they're not always the ones who listen to it the most. That is to say, they're not currently the main listeners of pop and rock. Let's look at the incredible pioneers of rock and roll. The amazing Tina Turner, queen of rock and roll. Elvis Presley, the king. And although he was white, his music was largely inspired by early black musicians such as Little Richard, the architect and founding father of rock and roll, and Sister Rosetta Tharpe, the godmother of rock and roll, whose new and crazy ways of playing the electric guitar rocked the music world. That mindset of new and crazy and out there came to define the rock genre. Yeah, but criticism for the genre was high. And when Elvis Presley came onto the scene and popularized these songs and conventions of black artists, he received a lot of criticism from the white community. A quote from a recording during Elvis Presley's time of a white man standing in front of a sign that says, "We serve white customers only," tells the camera about how he and his committee of 20 men are so disgusted by the music of Elvis Presley that they will go and try to convince the owners of public establishments, like restaurants, to do away with any records they have of Presley's. The man uses the N-word to refer to the music. This one quote is so powerful in that it reveals to us the other side of America's attitude toward Elvis's perceived black music. He says, "We've set up a 20-man committee to do away with this vulgar, animalistic N-word, rock and roll bop. Our committee will check with restaurant owners and the cafes to see what Elvis Presley records is on their machines, and then ask them to do away with them." From Elvis Presley and the black community, that echo will never die, at 40 seconds. Damn. Hip-hop really started as a part of the black art movement of expression and freedom dreaming. In the 1970s, it was, quote, a form of pure showmanship at block parties and other social gatherings, and consisted of DJs or disc jockeys using their turntables to remix and mush together different beats and samples while their friends would rap over the music and breakdance. From Rap and Hip Hop, Crash Course Black American History number 47, Crash Course. And during the 1960s and 1970s, the Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act was passed, which led to black communities, quote, feeling a decreased interest in their political and economic well-being from the government, end quote, as Crash Course points out at 2 minutes and 16 seconds. The genre oftentimes was used as an outlet of social commentary, and many of the artists and groups, then and now, use it as a form of expression to address intersectional issues that might have been hard to get out under non-music circumstances. Groups like Public Enemy, came onto the scene in the 1980s and challenged the intersectional injustice of discrimination, racism, and governmental oppression. Quote, their Public Enemy's hit single Fight the Power was featured in director Spike Lee's classic film Do the Right Thing. The song tackled racism head-on and called on black people to challenge and fight back against white supremacy. End quote. Crash course at 5 minutes and 32 seconds. Other artists included Rakim, Salt-N-Pepa, LL Cool J, and Queen Latifah, to name a few. All these early hip-hop artists worked to provide social justice and commentary through their innovative lyrical prowess and their musical dexterity. The 1990s and beyond was where hip-hop expanded itself, both physically and evolutionarily. The famous rivalry of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur represented the battle of innovative West Coast hip-hop with Tupac, and the East Coast's rooted hip-hop with Biggie. The rivalry between the two figures and icons of hip-hop was unresolved and ended sadly in the mysterious deaths of the two. But it marked a change in hip-hop as a genre, and the growing discomfort and animosity toward the genre began to show its head as the genre spread across America. Quote, some of the animosity toward hip-hop in the 1990s centered on the discomfort with the controversial lyrics. Unquote. Crash course at 9 minutes and 15 seconds. The language and subject matter became increasingly more profane, and many songs exposed the harsh realities of living in the ghetto life, as well as the hypersexuality, violence, and misogyny towards women. A controversial topic was the increased use of the N-word in hip-hop, as the younger black generation was trying to remake the slur as a way to combat the cultural impact it had and the power it held over the black community. While the older generation knew too well its origins, in the mainly male-dominated genre, women of hip-hop rose, becoming icons and innovators of the music and providing voices against the misogyny and violence portrayed by many of the male artists in hip-hop. People like Queen Latifah, Sister Souljah, and Missy Elliott, quote, garnered widespread commercial and criminal success, unquote, just like their male counterparts. One of the most well-known icons of the hip-hop genre was Miss Lauryn Hill, who, with her music, spread the black feminist ideas of hip-hop, and with her first solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, she won 5 Grammys and much critical acclaim. Quote, to say a black artist makes white music erases the black artists who are the foundations of these genres. Black Music Archive at 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So thoroughly and intricately is the weaving of institutional racism in the music industry, with the events happening in America, and yet these multi-million-dollar industries would not be what they are today without the countless amazing black people behind them. Wait! Guys, I just found out something cool! Little Richard was bisexual!